Dear student, in this video we can try to cover few topics from chapter fuel. So let us first start with the introduction. As we know that the energy resources are classified into two types. The first one, that is the renewable energy resource, and second one, that is the non-renewable energy resource. Renewable energy resource come from the source that can be regenerated as fast as they are consumed and are continuously available. These resources are further classified into five types. The first one, that is the hydropower energy. It is the energy produced by capturing the potential and kinetic energy of the water, which can be converted into electricity by using hydroelectric plants. Second one is the geothermal energy. It is the energy available as heat from within the earth crust, usually in the form of hot water or steam and volcanoes. Third one is the wind energy. It is the kinetic energy of the wind, which is converted into electricity by using wind turbine. Then solar energy. It is the solar radiation which can be used for generating heat or electricity. Last one is the biomass. It is the organic matter, mostly non-fossil material having biological origin, used for the production of heat or electricity. The most common examples are wood and wood-based biogas and biofuels. Second is non-renewable energy resource. It is the energy resource which once removed from earth will deplete or will not be replenished for thousands or even millions of years. They are further classified into two categories. The first one, that is the fossil fuel. It is the main non-renewable energy resource. Fossil fuel were created by decaying of plant and animal that existed millions of years ago under high amount of pressure and heat. Fossil fuel are carbon based and are burned to create energy and electricity. The most common examples are coal and petroleum. The second one, that is the nuclear fuel. Nuclear energy is the power generated from the energy stored in the nuclei of the atom. Nuclear power is mainly produced by harnessing the larger amount of energy produced by forced splitting of uranium nuclei. Uranium is a non-renewable resource, therefore nuclear energy is also a major non-renewable energy resource. Most of the energy requirement for the modern era is fulfilled by non-renewable energy resources. It is near about 90%. Then definition of fuels. Fuel is any source of heat, energy. It is defined as any combustible material which is obtainable in bulk or on burning with oxygen produce heat that can be used economically for domestic and industrial purpose for heating and generation of power. In wider sense, fuel include the stored fuel that are available in the earth crust, for example fossil fuel or the substance derived from them by an industrial processes. A fuel is compatible substance containing carbon as the main constituent, which on proper burning give larger amount of heat that can be used economically for domestic and industrial purpose. During the process of combustion of a fuel, the atom of carbon, hydrogen combined with oxygen with simultaneously liberation of a larger amount of heat. Then classification of the fuel. Fuel can be classified on the basis of their origin and physical state. So first one, that is the on the basis of origin. They can further divided into two types. The first one, that is the primary fuel. Primary fuel is the fuel which occur in nature. As such, are called primary fuel. This can be used without processing or with little processing, which does not change the chemical composition of the fuel. The common examples are wood, peats, coal, petroleum, and natural gases. So these are the primary fuel. Then second category is the secondary fuels. These are the fuel that are derived from primary fuel by chemical processing. The most common examples are coke, charcoal, kerosene, coal gas, and producer gas. So it is on the basis of origin. The second category, that is on the basis of physical state. They can further divided into three parts: solid fuel, liquid fuel, and gaseous fuels. This table showing the classification of the fuels on the basis of their physical state. The first one, solid fuel. In this category, the primary fuels are wood, peat, lignite, coal, and bitumen. And secondary fuel are coke, charcoal, solid, rocket fuel such as nitrocellulose and thiol, etc. Similarly, liquid fuel, they can further divided as primary fuel, for example crude oil or petroleum, and as secondary fuel such as gasoline, diesel, kerosene, coal tar, alcohol, and spirit. Similarly, gaseous fuel, the primary fuel in this category is natural gas, and secondary fuel in this category are coal gas, water, producer gas, refinery oil gases. Next is calorific value. One of the most important characteristics of a fuel is its calorific value. A calorific value is defined as the amount of heat produced by complete combustion of a unit mass of the fuels. So this table showing the unit of calorific value. The first one is the CGS. It is most commonly called centimeter gram second. For solid and liquid fuel, it is calorie per gram, and for the gaseous fuel, it is calorie per centimeter cube. The second one, it is MKS. It is called meter kilogram second. For solid and liquid fuel, it is kilocalorie per kilogram. In case of gaseous fuel, it is kilocalorie per meter cube. The third one, that is the international system. In this case, kilojoule per kilogram for solid and liquid fuel, and for gaseous fuel it is kilojoule per meter cube. The last one is the British thermal unit. In short, it is called BTU. For solid liquid fuel, it is BTU LB, which means per pound, and for gaseous fuel, it is BTU per feet cube. Then let us discuss the few terms which is associated with these various unit terms. The first one, that is the caloric. It is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of the water through 1 degree. For example, from 15 degrees Celsius to 16 degrees Celsius. Similarly, kilocalorie, it is the amount of the heat required to raise the temperature of the 1 kilogram of the water through 1 degree Celsius. Similarly, British thermal unit, it is the amount of the heat required to raise the temperature of 1 lb of the water through 1 Fahrenheit. Similarly, centigrade heat unit CHU, it is amount of the heat required to raise the temperature of 1 pound of the water through 1 degree Celsius. Then interconversion of unit of the heat. So 1 kilogram it is equal to 2.2 lb. 1 degree Celsius it is equal to 1.8 Fahrenheit. 1 calorie it is equal to 4.185 joule. 1 kilocalorie it is equal to 1000 calorie. 1 BTU it is equal to 252 calorie, and that further equal to 0.252 kilocalorie. So these are the unit of the heat. Similarly, these are the unit of the calorific value. 1 calorie per gram, that is equal to 1 kilocalorie upon kilogram, that is equal to 1.8 BTU lbs. Similarly, 1 kilocalorie per meter cube, that is equal to 0.1077 BTU feet cube. Similarly, 1 BTU per feet cube, it is equal to 9.3 kilocalorie per meter cube. Next is gross calorific value and net calorific value. Let us first of all discuss gross calorific value. It is the total amount of the heat generated when a unit quantity of the fuel is completely burned and the product of the combustion are cooled down to the room temperature. It is also called high calorific value. Similarly, net calorific value, it is the net heat produced when a unit quantity of the fuel is completely burned and the product of the combustion are allowed to escape. In actual practice, when the fuel is used, the vapor and moisturizer are not condensed and escaped along with hot combustion gases. Thus, a lesser amount of heat is available than expected. So net calorific value, that is obtained by this formula, it is equal to gross calorific value minus latent heat of condensation of water vapor produced. It is further equal to gross calorific value minus mass of the hydrogen into 9 into latent heat of the steam. In this case, 1 part by weight of the hydrogen gives 9 part by weight of the water as follow. 2 hydrogen that can combine with 1 atom of the oxygen and it will give vapor. So we know that 2, that is the molecular mass of the 2 hydrogen atom. Similarly, 16 is the molecular mass of the single oxygen and 18, that is the molecular mass of the water. So it can further write as 9 grams. So 1 part by weight of the hydrogen, it can give 9 part by weight of the water. The latent heat of steam, that is equal to 2457.2 kilojoule per kilogram, and that is further equal to 1060 BTU lb at 15 degrees Celsius. So this latent of heat, it is used in the formulas. This table showing calorific values for different solid fuel, calorific values for liquid fuels, and calorific values for gaseous fuels. Then characteristics of the good fuel. The following characteristic is taken into consideration for selecting a fuel for particular purpose? First one, suitabilities. The fuel selected should be suitable for required purpose. For example, coke made from bituminous coal is most suitable for blast furnace, which is used in metallurgy of the iron. Calorific value. The fuel should possess high calorific value. The calorific value of fuel is indicator of its efficiency. Moisture content. The fuel should possess low moisture content because presence of high moisture decrease the effective calorific value of the fuel. Non-combustible content. The fuel should not contain any non-combustible content because it decreases the efficiency of the fuel. Cost factor. The fuel should be cheap and readily available in large amount. Ignition temperature. It is the lowest temperature at which the fuel, when heated, catch fire and continue to burn. A fuel with low ignition temperature have high inflammabilities and burn quickly at the spark of the fire, so storage and transportation of such fuel is very dangerous. On the other hand, if the ignition temperature of fuel is high, then there should be difficulty in the kindling of the fuel. Therefore, a good fuel should possess moderate ignition temperature. Then velocity of combustion. The velocity or rate of combustion of the fuel should be moderate. If it is too high, then combustion is not favored, and if it is too low, then combustion causes loss of heat due to radiation. Then nature of the product of combustion. The product of combustion of fuel should be clean. Too much of the smoke and unpleasant odor are not desirable. In case of solid fuel, the ash content should be low. Control of combustion. The fuel should be such that combustion can be easily started or stopped. And last one is the handling and storage. The fuel should be safe, convenient and economical for handling, storage and transportations. So it is all about the introductions of the fuels.